Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. So we're going to start and we're going to begin. Beautiful. I need to share my screen. I almost made that mistake last time, where I didn't share my screen. Okay, so I hope everyone can see this. So we're going to start here. Okay, so hello everyone, and this is a session that's basically me going over how to attract GE and GT EPs. I know some of you guys have been having some issues when it comes to attraction for G and GT, especially when checking the open. So hopefully this call will annul any issues that you guys have been facing. So we're gonna start. So to begin, my name is Samira Sanchez. I'm your current MCVP OGE OGT. This is a beautiful and cute picture of myself when I was, I think, 2 years old. I think I look the same. I have the same curly hair, eyes. Look at my eyebrows. They were on fleek, and my chubby little cheeks. That was so cute. Like, I wish I met myself when I was younger. Anyway, so this is me as a kid, and I'm going to be presenting and be your host for today. So just to do a little refresh on our products so that we make sure everyone is on the same page, which I'm sure you are, but just to make sure. So we're going to be going over Global Entrepreneur Attraction, and Global Entrepreneur is a global internship opportunity at a startup for young people who seek to develop themselves in their career. This is an unpaid professional experience. On minimum, it lasts 6 weeks, but on average, the opportunities last about 3 months, and you'll be working with a startup for GE. For GT, it is a global internship opportunity for young people who seek to develop themselves and their career. Minimum, again, is 6 weeks, but on average, these opportunities tend to last about 6 months. But sometimes you find ones that are a little bit smaller. That have a shorter length. And it's also a professional experience. Will you be working for a multinational company, an SME, or a startup? So this is for global talent. So just as a refresh for both of the products, so we understand what they are. Before I go any deeper, I think it's important that we are all on the same page when it comes to products. I think I've communicated this very heavily to my network, but just as a refresh again, for you guys to understand that global entrepreneur is not global talent, and global talent is not global entrepreneur, and neither of these are global volunteer. So when it comes to attraction, what I've been noticing, or at least I've been hearing, is that I think a lot of people are stuck because they know that they can do the same attraction for GV, but then they still have a tendency to do the same attraction for GV. And then when it comes to GE and GT, it's essentially the same issues where the attraction strategies, they're relatively similar. And then people think that maybe they're doing something wrong because they're doing the same attraction for GV when they know they're not supposed to, or they are doing the same attraction for GV and maybe just trying to be rebellious and going against what we're trying to suggest to them. But I think moving forward, it's important to understand that for G and GT, the markets for both of these products is completely different compared to GV. For both GE and GT, a student needs to at least be a junior to go in. A junior to go in exchange. For GE, this past year at least, we've already had 2 approvals where they've been freshmen, but these freshmen have had like really good experience in the past, and that's why they've been able to be approved. And sometimes you do get lucky with GE for a freshman to get accepted for a GE. However, it's not as likely if they were at least like a sophomore, junior, or senior. For GT, there's some opportunities where they do require the EP to be a current student. However, those students that they're looking for are normally juniors or seniors. So please make sure if you guys are doing promotion for GT that you understand like the product differentiation. And then for GV, hopefully you guys are all aware that, freshman and sophomore essentially is the market, and there's a lot more opportunities available for these. For GE and GT, which is the same thing or the same issue that we're facing with both of them, like I said before, for GV, there's multiple openings for one position, but for GE, on average, you might have like 1, 2, or 3 openings for a position, and for GT, majority of them are just 1 opening per position. So obviously, it's very competitive. We have over 300 people applying for one opportunity for GT per position. So obviously the market is very competitive. So please make sure whenever you're marketing for these 3 different products that you're being very strategic and specific. How to attract. So I'm going to be going over different ways of attraction for both GE and GT. We're going to be going over smart tabling, IXP, PR placements, personal networks, university relations, app-focused info sessions, and career fairs. I think this GIF of this guy just looks funny because he's like, whoa, ways to get applicants. I think it's funny. Okay, so move forward. Okay, so the first thing is smart tabling. So what I've been noticing, Lisa, what I've been hearing throughout the network is that you guys are doing tabling amongst GE and GV, or GT and GE. I mean GV. Sorry, these acronyms are crazy, but something that's really important to specify, at least when it comes to marketing, is that if you are going to be marketing for both of these products, to make sure that you guys are reallocating or allocating the EPs to the right product that best fits like what they want. And smart tabling comes into engaging. So some universities you can table wherever you want. Some universities you have to what's it called? You have to let them know beforehand. But when it comes to like engagement, also like with people that are walking around on campus, please make sure that if you guys are tabling, that you guys are actually like approaching people or like giving them a reason to come to your table, because if you're just sitting behind the table and doing nothing, obviously nothing's going to happen. You're not going to get enough opens. I remember when I was on an LCP on the local level, or my successor, excuse me, when he was on the local level, in one day they were able to get 50 opens. So it's definitely doable for you guys to do it if you guys engage enough the people that you guys are trying to attract. The next thing is tracking. So I think it's really important that you guys are also getting to know your applicants. And you guys also need to make sure that if you guys are going to be having a tabling, that you guys need to have a plan in place for how you guys are going to track these applicants, and also have a plan in place to make sure that you guys are going to have a lead nurturing process with them. For lead capture is getting information from people who pass by your table in an effective way to build qualified pool of leads. This is important, especially when it comes to GT and GE, that you guys are filtering the right amount of people. So I think it's important when it comes to communicating, like if you're going to be promoting specific projects, for example, if you have somebody that comes in that clearly isn't qualified for a position, that you try and redirect them to like another product for GB, for example, so you're not wasting your time talking to potential EPs that don't qualify or fit what exactly the position is looking for. The last thing is call to action. If your table does not have something that the EP can like not look forward to, but have something to do as like a next step, then it will not be very beneficial to you guys as an LC. So I think it's really important for you guys to make sure that you guys also have a plan in place when it comes to ensuring that maybe you have like an info session afterward, you set up a one-on-one with the EP right away. You have like maybe an event that you're planning on having as an LC where like the EP can also meet you guys as a second meeting. So I think this is the main thing that I'm noticing when it comes to call to action, that maybe some people aren't being as, you know, maybe as hard, not as hard, but like as strict when it comes to talking to them, or you guys have a plan in place where you're going to contact or call the EP like the next day to set up a meeting with them or what have you. So with smart tabling, please make sure that you guys are also looking at universities, seeing if there's other areas or like maybe events that are happening on your campus that relate to GE or GT, where you can have a table specifically for these products. Even if you have, for example, in your area, if you have like an entrepreneurial fair, something that's happening like in whatever county that you live in, that maybe you could even offer like doing a table at that area, which will be really smart and strategic for you. So this is for smart tabling. The next one is IXP and discounts. So for GE and GT, like I said before, you can still have current students. And then for GT, you can still use recent graduates, even for GE. I think this is like a common misconception, is that, oh, people that have just graduated don't want to do GE, which is not true at all. If we're looking at the statistics compared to last year, over 20% of our EPs last year were recent graduates and they decided to go into GE. So don't just like maybe sometimes filter someone away just because you have an assumption about their profile, and like maybe provide them with the opportunity and see if they actually want to do it. The next thing also, I think this is something that isn't capitalized on enough, is like using past EPs that have already been on a GB exchange to maybe push them to do a GE or GT exchange. As you guys know, on our compendium, that they get $100 off their second exchange. And this is a discount that's given on the national level. So it's not even like a campaign that you guys necessarily need to have. So if you guys are able to contact your old GB EPs to see if they're interested in going exchange again, that would definitely be really beneficial to you guys, especially when it comes to GE and GT, when they're looking at their resume and such. With them having that past experience will definitely give them that competitive edge. When it comes to IXP and discounts, also having 2-week spreads to promote opportunities, and specifically using these people or these EPs for brand advocacy is really important to ensure that you guys actually have materials coming in. Obviously, every single EP that you have should be able to promote, you know, ISEC or ISEC and whatever LC you're from. But if you're able to use them for brand advocacy, that would be really beneficial for you guys. And I love Seinfeld, which is why he's on this GIF. Okay, next one is PR placements. I think especially for G and GT, I know maybe in our day and age we don't use newspapers as much anymore, but I don't know if you guys have really you know, not in depth, but if you guys have really legitimate like newspapers like on your campuses, or excuse me, or whatever, you know, form of not media, but form of like information that your students get information from. So if you guys are able to like maybe figure out, or maybe if you even have like a radio talk show or something, like different ways, like maybe like on your campus or like in your area where you guys are able to do PR placements, I think will be really beneficial to you guys, because for GE and GT, like I said before, not all the students, or not your whole market is not just on your campus, and it's okay if you guys want to branch out and trying to get other people in your city to see if they're willing to apply, but just make sure that you're not wasting all your time doing this, and that whatever strategies you're using, whether it's like an email to set up a meeting with like a radio station to promote GE or GT, that it's just like it's really fast and you don't spend like months on end like trying to communicate with a potential person that can make this work. So this is definitely beneficial, and it's like another area, another person that could do marketing for you. Your little marketers for you to see if they have people that fit this profile. And like, for example, for GT, like I know when I was a senior in college, I had a lot of friends, you know, complaining to me, not complaining, but like, you know, stressing out because they were about to graduate, and they were like, oh, like, I really wish that I had like a teaching opportunity and like, I don't know, in Columbia that I could go to. And then like these friends could be like, oh yeah, I remember my friend who's in ISEC has these opportunities available. So maybe just using your friends also to help with promotion, which I know sounds kind of, you know, sometimes we don't always want to talk to our friends about ISEC, or maybe your friends are only from ISEC, but if you're able to have like other people that you can use in your network, that would be really beneficial, especially if it's a professor that you're friends with. I mean, I know me at least, like I was close to at least 2 professors on my campus, and then they were also kind of able to help us with promotion, like in their classrooms, and that was just with them knowing what the product is. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a formal meeting that you have with them. The next one is UR. This is the most important strategy that we have when it comes to GE and GT. Like UR is like definitely the biggest differentiation compared to GV, because for GE and GT, you could use GT, for example, as an internship, even though it is working abroad. But if you're trying to sell it to a university that doesn't want to do a GE, then you can potentially like redirect them to a GT. But it's important for you guys to also do research on your campuses to see like what exactly they have available on their campus that maybe you or ISEC can kind of benefit from, and they can also benefit from us. Whether that's different international student societies, department heads, certificates on campus. This was actually something that happened on my university for certificates on campus. I remember I was researching with my VPs, and there was a certification for a global learning certificate. And one of the requirements is that they needed to have experience abroad for, I think, at least like a month or something. And I remember we had to set up a meeting with them, and we were able to like offer them an option of going abroad through ISEC. And this was a certificate that I personally had never heard about, and it was a certificate that was actually in my major. I was studying international business, and I never heard about it as a student. So sometimes it's important, sometimes if you guys are able to go through your university website and then see if there's like different opportunities that maybe ISEC could benefit, or ISEC could kind of provide as a benefit for these organizations or what have you. But other than that, organizations on campus are also really good. This is also something that you guys potentially could work with when it comes to tabling. I know at least at our university, we have this thing called a World Fair that we used to do promotion when it comes to all the OGX products. We also had internship fairs, and then we would have obviously career fairs that would happen. I have another slide for that later, but just like making sure you guys are looking at the calendar. I don't know if you guys have university calendars, and seeing like, okay, ISEC potentially could help out with this, and then obviously contacting them like way beforehand to see if that can happen. Another thing also when it comes to UR is also using your professors, and even just going to the department head yourself and being like, hey, we have ISEC, this is an opportunity, and seeing if they're willing to do that. Career fairs also are really beneficial when it comes to this, because they're just promoting the product for yourself. So I think this will be hopefully something that if you guys are able to capitalize on it properly, it just takes honestly one sale that makes it like amazing, and then they just do promotion for you forever. So not forever, but if you keep the sustainable relationship, then potentially forever. So that's where you are. This is the biggest difference also when in comparison to GV is app focused info sessions. So when it comes to info sessions, if you guys, for example, have a flyer, be like, okay, come to Greece to do marketing in Greece, come learn about our opportunities or something like that. And then you just like, whenever you have the info session, it's just you guys going over Greece as a country, their application process, what opportunities specifically you can apply for, and then do it based off of that, because I think it's important, especially for G and GT, that If you have people applying that have a basic understanding of what GE is as a product, but they don't understand, but they don't have like opportunities that like maybe they have in their head of like what they want to do, like, I don't know, teaching in Cambodia. I don't know why I said Cambodia, but like, or Kenya or something, and that's not necessarily where we have a high demand of GE, then obviously the misalignment of expectations is there. So it's important for you guys to be promoting specific opportunities so that they're aware of like what options they have available. Because if you give them too many options, then they're going to have, you know, expectations are not going to be fit. So this is the big one. The last one is internship/career fairs. I've created a bit.ly already. This has been sent since the beginning of the semester. I'm not sure if people have been capitalizing on it or not. There is a fee for some of the career fairs. There's still some career fairs left in March and April, so I would definitely recommend you guys checking out the bit.ly. I only did this for LCs, if I remember correctly, that are running GT and GE. And if your university is not on there, then you can let me know, and I can try and see if I can find more information about potential career fairs in your area. These career fairs are not only ones at your university. They are like in the city as a whole. So please make sure that you do take advantage of this, because this is really beneficial, especially when it comes to GT. I know Isaac in Michigan, from what I've heard, is that they have each of the people that come in just submit their resume, and then the VP and their in their function, they look through the resumes and they only contact the resumes that look qualified enough to go on a GT, which I think is an amazing GCP to have, because especially for GT, since there's such a high competitiveness to it, it's important to filter out resumes that maybe aren't as qualified, so that you can make sure that you have like the best of the best to qualify for specific opportunities. Routine marketing, this is like a huge part of it also. I'm not sure, but I know that marketing isn't necessarily happening like consistently every single week, especially when it comes to G or GT. So I think it's vitally important that you guys are doing marketing at least twice a week to ensure that you guys are getting enough applicants to apply for opportunities. There's a quote that I like that says, "Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently." I know sometimes in ISEC we get stuck with exams and, you know, other things we have to get done, but you have these things like way in advance. So like just to make sure that you guys are preparing for when you guys have times of like not being like maybe on campus, or maybe you know that you're not gonna be as productive because you have midterms or something, to make sure that you guys have a plan in place, whether that's doing like email, like what's it called? Like not rerouting, but scheduling like MailChimp to be sent, or to send out emails at a specific time. Or what have you, so that you guys can have, you know, more consistency happening at least twice a week when it comes to marketing, because it's important that we're attracting the right people. This is another thing too. This output is going to be given to you guys as a PDF, so please be sure to check it out afterward. But if you guys want to check out the steering team output for G and GT, feel free to check it out. They have career fairs, UR, email templates, and what have you. It's really beneficial. It's really awesome. I personally am in love with it. So if you guys want to check it out on how to capitalize on UR and career fairs, please feel free to check it out, and also some awesome other information. Processing times. So that's when it comes to how to get applicants. I think one thing when it comes to communicating with GT and GEAPs, importantly, is like how fast people apply for these opportunities and how fast they get accepted for these opportunities. And I think this is a really big part of like LCs that are doing really well with attraction and other LCs that are not, is that they're not communicating properly how competitive it is to go into GE or GT. So if we're looking at different processing times for EPs, if we're looking at America's region as a whole, from applied to accepted, there's around 7 days for that to happen. And that comes because the EP is applying for an opportunity like really quickly, and that's why they're getting accepted so fast, is because there's an alignment with the IR and with the position itself. And the EP is qualified enough because they're attracting the right people to get accepted in 7 days. If we're looking at Canada, which is, an area that is relatively similar to the US because we have very similar markets. As you can see, they only have 1 day difference from applied to accepted, and that's because they are aligning properly what the EP can expect for the opportunity, because they're doing project promotion as well, and how fast they can get accepted for an opportunity. However, if we're looking at the United States from applied to accepted takes about 14 days. So we're taking twice as long as the Americas region as a whole for us to process our EPs, and that mainly comes because we're not attracting the right people. So I think it's important for you guys, whenever you guys are communicating to EPs or potential EPs, that you guys are sharing this with them, that people in the Americas region, or like people from other countries that are applying for the same opportunity that you are applying for, are taking a lot less time for that to happen. How to make processing time faster. Guys, it's Superman on the right. Can we just take a second to appreciate that? I love it. Okay. How to make processing time faster. From the point of attraction, give the EP a deadline on when they need to apply. I think this is like the most vitally important. EP is way too long for them to apply. And even though it might say, an opportunity might say it's open for, I don't know, like 70 days or what have you, if the position, if the OP manager is able to find someone qualified enough to fill the position, they're just going to give it to that person because they already found someone to fill that position. So please make sure you're giving them a deadline, even if on the opportunity it has a deadline, for you to also give them a deadline. The next one is also to express to them limited spotting for opportunity and make the opportunity seem very competitive. This all goes into the sale of how you promote GE or GT. GT way more than GE, but still essentially the same. Just tell them there's one opportunity, and on average they get 300 applicants, which is telling the truth because that is the average. So just communicate to them that they need to work really fast and that you will do your best as, you know, their EP manager to ensure that they're put higher on the list. But that's if they apply, hopefully on the deadline. The next one is do 2-week sprints of promotion of specific opportunities. This is a really fast way for you guys. If you guys want to process EPs really quickly, let's say for like 1 week, for example, you're doing heavy promotion for one opportunity. Let's say you get like maybe 20 applicants for this specific opportunity, and then like the next week you're processing them. I know this is something that they do in ISIC and Colombia or Brazil, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Colombia actually. And this has been really beneficial to them because the LCs are being very focused, and it's like a different like set of opportunities every 2 weeks. But this allows like rotations to happen every couple weeks. The last thing is be specific with what you're looking for, especially for GT. It's important that before you do promotion of the project that you look at the qualifications that are necessary. For example, like I was saying before, there's some GT opportunities where you need to be a current student. There's other GT opportunities that you need to have just graduated within a year. There's other GT opportunities that need to be graduated within 2 years. There's other GT opportunities where you need to hold like a different citizenship, what have you. There's some that you need to have a master's. There's some that you only need a bachelor's. There's some that you don't need any. So I think it's important that you're being very specific with what they're looking for. For GV, it's a lot more, what's it called? For GV, they're not as strict when it comes to these qualifications, but for GE and GT especially, you need to ensure that you guys are targeting the right people, even if that means that you guys might get, I don't know, like 10 people for like only one opportunity, which might not seem like a lot, but that will hopefully help you guys with filtering out the right people so that you guys are not wasting your time processing EPs that don't fit what exactly the opportunity is looking for. Like I was saying before, looking at their experience/resume and direct them to the right product is vitally important, especially when it comes to GE or GT. I'm going to show you 2 different resumes that have applied for GTs in the past, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this is one resume, if you guys can take a second to look at it. He was a tutor and mentor in Pennsylvania from March 2016 to the present. As you can see, for resumes in general, this much text as a resume, automatically the company itself will probably not want, or like not want the EP, but will kind of like move the EP to like to remove them from their shortlist, excuse me, mainly because like the resume itself just doesn't look like qualified enough. But that's fine because it's okay. But for example, he put that he's a tutor and mentor. He was a sales consultant. But then, for example, like he doesn't say like what exactly he got, like what exactly did he achieve in the experience also. And then he talks about his education. But then if we're looking at an EP that was accepted for an opportunity, obviously there's a very big difference between the left resume and the resume on the right. So we're looking, the EP put his actual education on the top. I don't know why this guy on the left has it on the bottom. I think he's Indeed.com, the guy on the left. Anyway, so, and then you talk about he has like a publication, he has a work experience, he was an intern, from however to however. He has a graduate research experience, technical skills, and I think he had a second page also. But you can tell just amongst both of these resumes that one person seems more qualified than the other one. His graduation date was from Purdue University, from Georgia Institute of Technology was December 2017, so he obviously fits a timeline. And so does this student on the left. However, if the opportunity requires that the person has only graduated within the year, then obviously he wouldn't fit the experience. So I just cut the names off of it, but these are actual EPs that have gotten exchanged. The person on the right has been accepted, has been approved for an opportunity. The person on the left has been looking for an opportunity for a few months now. So I think it's important to just like read through the resumes before you actually take a GT EP to see if they're qualified enough. And if the EP does not seem qualified enough, ask them to like maybe redo their resume to make it seem nicer. or even have them go to like the career services office for them to like redo their resume, and then hopefully they'll be able to be accepted for another opportunity. But this is what, you know, companies are looking for, because companies just go through resumes really quickly, because we're just offering them options as for EPs, and then obviously the IGT team and the other entity will shortlist it. So make sure this is there. The last thing when it comes to G and GT, this is a quote that I like to think about when I think about G or GT, is that innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity and not as a threat, not a threat. For G and GT, it's very, very unique because they're both products that are changing very rapidly, and it's important for us to be agile as a network to ensure that we're attracting the right people and ensuring that we are being consistent in our actions to you know, obviously get the results that we're looking for. So I think sometimes people are scared to try new things when it comes to G or GT, but that is the beautiful thing about this product, and that's personally why I personally love it, is that for this product, you can be as innovative as you want and try different things and try new things that will either give you a horrible failure that you can learn from, or an amazing success that you hopefully will grow as a product. So please make sure that you guys are being innovative when it comes to your strategies. I've told this to my network multiple times. I don't always have all the answers. I'm not on your local levels. I don't know like what exactly is your niche at all times, because I'm not, you know, I'm not there. But obviously, if you need help, I'm more than happy to help you. If you need any help with like figure out like different market segmentation, but honestly, it just comes in from you just like researching, finding what will best work for you, and then going for it and doing your best. So that's all I have for right now. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to message me. But other than that, it's gone. Other than that, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.